That's weird. That took a little time to do what I wanted. Anyways, good morning. It is Monday. I don't think what day it was. That's how that's happening for me. I hope everyone had a fantastic Sunday yesterday. I know that we all had fun at church yesterday, and we were able to finish the third John, and we are now starting Genesis this coming Sunday. So I'm quite excited for that. I'm looking forward to where we're going to be going with that. But for today, Mark 7:31 through 37, fairly small passage. So if you'd read with me, again, I have my CSB with me. So, like I said, if you read with me, again, leaving the region of Tyre, sorry, he went by way of Sidon, Sidon, yeah, whatever, to the Sea of Galilee through the region. Ooh, the opposite. They brought to him a deaf man who had difficulty speaking and begged Jesus to lay his hand on him. So he took him away from the crowd in private. After putting his fingers in the man's ears and spitting, he touched his tongue. Looking up to heaven, he sighed deeply and said, Epha, Ephatha, Ephatha, Ephatha. That is, be opened. Uh, Immediately his ears were open, his tongue was loosened, and he began to speak clearly. He ordered them to tell no one, but that the more he ordered them, the more they proclaimed it. They were extremely astonished and said, he has done everything well. He even makes the deaf hear and the mute speak. Okay, so something that I absolutely find amazing, truly just incredible about Christ, like everything, obviously, but like the fact that he healed through word, he healed through the spirit, he healed through whatever he was doing here. Like I can't even begin to um fully go into detail on what he was doing because he just I don't even know, he put his fingers in the man's ears and spitting he touched his tongue and looked up to the sky and said be open. That doesn't make any sense to most people, at least from the people I know. So, but I will say this, something that I didn't actually think of the last time. It makes a reference to in this um in this area that I'm talking about. It makes a few other references, but specifically to John uh 9:6. So if you look there, let, uh, let me see if there is a way that we can get a little bit more of a clearer. Uh, See, that makes more sense. Okay, so in in John 9:6, he heals a man, very similar to the events of what Mark is saying. But in John, there's a little bit more details with what he's doing. And it mentions after he said these things, he spat on the ground, made some mud, and from the saliva, and spread the mud on his eyes. Spread the mud on his eyes. So, for one, if that's even similar to what he did, because he was deaf and he had trouble speaking, so it's like, what is it like? Is it the saliva? Because could he not just use water? Like this is a question, I'm wondering because there's it's been a while since I've gone through verse by verse, chapter by chapter. So what is it? It's interesting to think about. But something that's important to notice as well is that he said to say nothing to anyone. What does it mean that everyone said Jesus did everything well? I thought that was also interesting how in the very last verse 37 he has done everything well. He even makes the deaf hear and the mute speak. Have you ever thought about the fact that sometimes Jesus speaks people to be healed, other times he does it with his own hands? I find that just so interesting and kind of weird at times because it's like, what is even happening? We don't know. Um, and this was like the only image I could find that it was even similar to what was being spoken about in scripture today. Actually, like the first one, I couldn't even find any other images that would actually, go with what we were discussing today. But I think it's incredible and something that I find important. Christ, he's above everything, and we seem to forget his power, is what he can do, and yet for for whatever reason, we just choose to not acknowledge it, not to be thinking about the um, his healing, the power he has to heal, the power he has to provide and to just give us what we need. But we have to first remember to not be, selfish about it, not be whatever it is that we are a lot of the times, which, I am just as much as anyone else, either selfish or just like, oh, why don't I have X, Y, and Z, or jealous or whatever, you know. And the fact that Christ kept telling them to not do whatever and not to say what happened, to just go on and be healed, but they continued to, well, they pretty much disobey, actually, when you think about it, um and just continued to share the gospel, not share the gospel, but share the news of his healing, which brought more people to him. So I find that interesting. Don't tell people, um, but the more people know, the more they want to be healed. So I find that interesting. I have no, speculations about anything with that, but I just find it interesting. So, um, let us not forget three things. First thing, Mere Christianity, the second book within Mere Christianity will be starting on Wednesday. Genesis will be starting Sunday, like I said. And youth, do not forget that we are doing Italian food, I believe, is what um, uh, we've been asked to do. We are doing a fellowship on Sunday immediately after we go through Genesis, the first bit of Genesis, because every Sunday, the last Sunday of every month from here on out, I plan to try to do a fellowship with the youth and their families. Um, and those who are in Sunday school. So with us. So I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their Mondays. I'm hoping to get everything pre-recorded like I have been in weeks prior, but let's just be honest. This last few weeks have been long and hard. So just stay strong, stay focused, and let's get through the next however many weeks we all have left. I think 9, 8 or 9 of the semester. So be well, and I will see you tomorrow.